I'm Johan Malan, a winemaker at Simonsig, one of the three brothers who are the owners of the estate. Simonsig has been around for quite some time, and the first wine that was bottled was in 1968 when my father, Frans Malan, started the Simonsig label. And he had three wines, and one of them was the Simonsig Steen. The Steen eventually became Chenin Blanc when it was discovered that Steen is actually the same as the Loire variety Chenin Blanc. So for the past 44 years we've been bottling Chenin Blanc, and it is now at the moment more popular than ever. And I must say, the fact that South Africa entered the international market was the point when we realized that Chenin Blanc is actually something truly unique to South Africa. In fact, we have more Chenin Blanc in South Africa than in the Loire Valley, where we always say is the home of Chenin. Over the years, we realized that Chenin is not just a variety for us, it is a variety that really does well in our soils and in our terroir. At one stage, we almost thought we'd discontinue Chenin until it became clear that in the Koelenhof area, on the foothills of the Simonsberg mountain, is where Chenin really does well. So it's easy to make a wine of real good quality on a consistent basis year after year, because it comes naturally. We are blessed with very good soils, which are decomposed shale soils, and these soils soak up a lot of water during winter because they contain a lot of clay. And the clay is then serving almost the purpose of a sponge to soak up the water in winter and then slowly release it during the long dry summers to sustain the vines and to make sure that the grapes are actually ripened under optimal conditions. Now, Chenin we like to pick very ripe. We wait until some of the berries are almost starting to turn into raisins, so they start to shrivel up or they get a golden brown color, and then the flavors and the sugars are really concentrated, and that is when the flavors are also come to the fore. The grapes are picked by hand, brought to the cellar, and a lot of the grapes, because the raisins are starting to dry out after crushing, we leave it in the tank, give it skin contact overnight, and then the little berries start to swell out, and thereby releasing these dried fruit, almost honey-like raisin aromas. After crushing and separation, the juice is fermented really cold to bring out the best intense fruity flavors. We use a typical South African yeast, which is well known for its very fruity wines. And at these cold fermentation temperatures, the aromatics are really maximized. The Chenin that we have in the glass is, you can immediately pick up from the color that it was made from very ripe grapes, and secondly, the fruit flavors are really intense. Typical of a young wine. This is a 2011, and the young wine normally shows the fruitiness at its most prominent. The typical flavors I pick up in the wine is yellow apples, like golden delicious apples, very ripe pears, some tropical fruits, almost like a tropical fruit salad with little bits of pineapple, and then of course on the palate you can pick up the wine is quite rich and ripe, which I think is a reflection of the style we try to make. It has to show something of the origin, where it comes from, the sunshine and the ripeness of the fruit. Full-bodied, but very fresh, very fruity, and it also makes ideal companion to food. The wine is just on the outside limits of dryness, so it's very difficult to pick up sugar, but at least this little bit of sweetness complements the sweet fruit that you find in the glass. The wine is also ideal with a large variety of different types of food. You know, this is an everyday drinking wine. It offers really good quality for a very affordable price. So it's a wine that you can afford to drink on a daily basis. So the kind of food that we eat on a regular basis would be Italian foods like pasta, seafood pastas, even pizza, and obviously when you have an alfresco meal around the pool, this is ideal because of the freshness, the youthfulness. It's got a lot of vibrancy and life in it. It is a wine with a long track record, and it has also won numerous awards. I think the most prominent ones were when it was the Super Coiffer of the Year wine in the Platter Guide. That means the best value for money wine in the Platter Guide out of all 6,000 or 7,000 wines, which I think was a true reward for a wine that has consistently done well over a long time. The 2010 vintage was a Veritas Gold. The 2009 had a Michelangelo Gold medal. So it has done well over a very long period of time. As I mentioned, it's also very good with food, and you're always welcome to try it under the roof. It was made at the Simonsig Cuvée restaurant.